Hello, and welcome to today's video, and welcome to Sunbreaker 3.0. I know this one is one that many have been waiting for. I'm sorry that it's over a week after the DLC has come out that I'm first covering Sunbreaker. But I promise my coverage of this class is not going anywhere. This class is by far the best of the Solar 3.0s. It is insane what it can do in about 95% of content. It's not truly proven yet, seeing as it's not been tested in GM content. That's where I do believe the Warlock one is going to shine, but we'll be covering that on Sunday. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into your first Sunbreaker 3.0 build. Let's get started. Alright, as we start this off, I'm just going to preface this by saying I will not be covering solar grenades or solar fragments overall in this guide. I covered both of those in my gunslinger one. If you are interested in looking at all solar grenades and all solar fragments in the game, even the ones that we currently do not have unlocked and available to equip, you can go back to the gunslinger guide and you can look at that and see which ones those are. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into your melees, and then we will hop into our aspects. We have no new class abilities here in Solar 3.0. For our melees, we have Throwing Hammer, back from Middle Tree Hammer Titan, and then we also have Hammer Strike. Note, Hammer Strike no longer debuffs enemies. Debuffing is solely for Void 3.0, and if you watched my predictions and coverage of what I thought would be in Solar and Arc 3.0s, I did predict that they would get rid of Hammer Strike debuffing enemies, and I was correct. Hammer Strike only scorches and then ignites if they die to the Hammer Strike. One thing to note, Throwing Hammer is on the same cooldown, however you can pick a Throwing Hammer back up, therefore in my eyes it is the better of the two melees. Also, Throwing Hammer is going to give you a little bit of health back when you do get it, when you do pick it up. For your aspects, we have Sol Invictus. This is your sunspots. Any solar ability Final Blow will cause a sunspot on the ground. Sunspots allow you to deal more damage while inside of them. No, they do. Sorry, sunspots no longer apply more damage while inside of them. Your abilities do regenerate a little bit faster. Your super still regenerates slightly slower when inside the sunspot, just like normal. And you are granted restoration, which is a constant heal buff that even when you are taking damage, you are healing through. Restoration, to note, can be stacked up to 2x times. The way you can do this is certain exotics can overgo Restoration X1 and give you Restoration X2. For example, Loreley Splendor. Our next aspect is simply Roaring Flames. Roaring Flames is the exact same it was in Solar 2.0. Get a solar ability kill, you're going to give yourself a damage bonus to all solar abilities. And you just keep going and going and going. As long as you get solar ability kills, you're getting up to X3. And it's on an 18-second timer, so it's on a really, really, really long timer. And it's really easy to keep up. Lastly, we have Consecration. This is about to get a buff, so I'm not going to be covering it in this build. However, do be on the lookout for this. This is about to go to 2 fragment slots, so you're about to get 4 fragment slots with this on. This is a really strong melee ability. However, I do think you kind of have to build into it and build around using it, though I do think it is really strong and could be the way you see Solar Titan used in GM level content. And that is it for the introductory info here on Sunbreaker 3.0. Alright, with all the introductory stuff out of the way, now that I've walked you through what all the aspects are, what all the melees are, let's go ahead and hop into a build, why don't we? Here in Solar 3.0, there's a lot of options for Sunbreaker Titans, sorry. Um, for right now, I think if you're just trying to play it safe and you just want one exotic to go to, I would say Laurely Splendor is probably your best choice. Simply for the Restoration X2 effect, and it's just gonna let you just play stupid, just turn off your brain in like 88, maybe even 95% of the game, and just let you just play. And you can just hold forward, throw hammers. It's really stupid the way you can play the game right now with Laurely Splendor and Sunbreaker Titan. However, I don't think this is gonna stay this way once we get into GM level content, and we'll see how that plays once we get there, but we're not there yet. So first up, on the Sunbreaker class, I am running just normal Hammers of Soul. It's the best of the two supers. It works. It does its job. It's a great option. It's a great super. I am running Rally Barricades. This is because it is the shorter of the two cooldowns for your barricades. And you can also stand in your sunspot with your barricade and shoot. And this is going to allow you to get max reload speed on your weapons in case you are shooting. Though in most content, I don't see anybody shooting. I'm on Catapult Lift because I prefer Catapult Lift. If you prefer Strafe, that's fine. If you prefer High Lift, you're weird. I am running Throwing Hammer. As I stated before, it's a constant pickup. You never really have to worry about the cooldown. And even when you do have to worry about the cooldown, you will probably have generated enough solar elemental wells that you can just pick up more. And then I am running Thermite Grenades. I know a lot of people have been running Solar Grenades. I don't feel like they're that great. I run Thermites here on my Hunter and on my Titan. I feel like they're the better choice. They just feel good. They do a lot of damage. They kill everything in front of them. Thermites are great. Solars feel okay. And then on my Warlock, obviously, I'm running Fusions, which we'll get to there in another video. For my aspects, I'm running Sunspots and Roaring Flames. This is just like the bread and butter of Sunbreaker right now. There's basically no reason not to run this for your class setup. It does everything you need it to do. You get extra ability damage. You get your abilities faster. It's like almost like having Heart of Inmost Light, but like in budget form. It's really good. It does exactly what you need it to do. It's perfect. For our fragments, note these could change in the future, and if they do change, I will be making a video in the future recovering my fragments and aspects, especially post GMs. I will be coming back and revisiting these builds to better get them broken down and shown off in GM level content. For fragments, I am running Ember of Singeing. I am running Ember of Solace. I'm running Ember of Torches. And I'm running Ember of Ashes. Each one of these does the following. Ember of Singeing. When you scorch a target, is going to give you class ability energy. This works perfectly with Sunspots, since Sunspots apply scorches. Every time they walk into your Sunspot that you place down, you're just granting yourself class ability energy. You basically always have your class ability ready to go as long as you are somewhere between 8 and 10 result. Ember of Solace is going to allow your Radiant and Restoration effects to last even longer. We also have Ember of Torches. This one is really huge for like DPS phases and stuff, because you can throw your mini hammer at a boss, have it bounce right back to you, and have it ready for the next time you need to reapply Radiant. Every time you throw your powered melee, you are going to grant Radiant to you and nearby allies. You can also learn the cooldown of just regular Radiant and keep up the Radiant for the other teammates that are not possibly on Solar. And then lastly, Ember of Ashes. This just simply allows you to apply more Scorch stacks. The more Scorch stacks you apply, the sooner you'll get Ignitions. And Ignitions are cool because they're explosions. And explosions are always great. On to the armor now. For the helmet, we are on Laurely Splendor. I made a video about this helmet last season talking about how great it was in PvE, and it got a little reception of, well, it's okay, and now it's insane. So they changed it a little bit to make it so that when you do get the Sunspot, you are in Restoration X2, but it only gives it to you on your Barricade cast Sunspot, and the Restoration X2 basically makes you unkillable. You would have to basically run one Resil to die, but since you're on a Titan, and you should be 8 to 10 Resil on Titan and Warlock anyways, yeah, you're basically unkillable. On the arms, we are running 1 Elemental Ordnance. Note, this would probably be more efficient to be a melee Wellmaker instead. And we are not running a kickstart here. You don't need it. You're going to have your abilities up so often, you're not going to need the kickstart. You can leave this open for whatever champion mod you need for your activity that you're running, or no champion mod. And if you have the space, run a kickstart. For our chess piece, this should not be the way it is. This is wrong. This should be a melee Wellmaker. And for our chess piece, it's on Void, though it doesn't really matter. With that being said, though, you can run a melee Wellmaker, a Void Resist, and then you can also run Armor of the Dying Star, and lets you still run Solar Resist as well. Though I would go ahead and switch your chess piece over to Arc. That way you can run an Arc Resist instead. On to the boots. The boots do not need to have a Reaping Wellmaker on them. They need to have a Elemental Armament. Sorry about that. The build is not currently set up correctly. For the boots here, they don't really matter. My opinion, Solar would be better for recuperation. However, these boots are locked for other builds, so they are on Void. However, the better already isn't bad, and the extra orbs are great. And then we also have a Shotgun Scav, or whatever scav you prefer to run yourself. The Elemental Armaments is simply just to let you generate a couple extra Solar Elemental Wells in case you do have to shoot your gun. And then lastly, we are on the class item. The class item is on Stasis. This is going to let you run 2 utility kickstarts. These utility kickstarts are going to help give you your class ability back even faster. And your whole goal here is just to throw rally barricades everywhere with sunspots everywhere, because it's literally just an extra sunspot you can proc. And it lets you refresh Restoration X2 until we get Ember of Empyrean. Also have another Elemental Ordnance here. This lets you have 1 Elemental Ordnance, 1 Bountiful Wells, and 1 Elemental Armaments, along with 2 melee and 1 melee Wellmaker. So you have 2 Elemental Ordnances, a melee Wellmaker, a Elemental Armaments, and a Bountiful Wells. Also, if you can and you're on Solar Boots, I would go ahead and switch this over to Arc and run the Arc mod that gives you energy on melee kills instead, because you're using your melee more than your grenade for this build. Alright, that's going to be really it for the build. A couple things to note. There are not a lot of solar weapons in the game right now that have Wellspring or Demo on them, and so just run whatever solar weapon you want, really. I'm running my Borrowed Time because it's like my favorite solar primary in the game. Probably kind of obvious based off its 16,000 kills. And then for heavy weapons, it's whatever you need for the activity. If you're a Lament abuser like me, run Lament. If you're on the Anarchy hype train because of the Anarchy, bug, buff, whatever it is, run Anarchy. Whatever you wish to run, go ahead and run it. Heavy weapon wise, the game's pretty open right now. Just pick whichever one is good and run it. That is it for the build today. I hope everyone enjoyed the build. Alright, that's going to be it for today. I hope that this was a good welcoming into Sunbreaker 3.0. I have lots of builds to cover regarding Sunbreaker 3.0. Though it's not my personal favorite of the Solar 3.0s, it is in my eyes the best. It is way too easy to use. It kind of reminds me of a lot of Void Warlock 3.0 in a lot of ways. It's just kind of throw one ability every like 20 seconds and game become easy again. And it's kind of stupid how like free this build makes the entire game. Like, I mean, I've seen Esoteric literally solo like a master Nightfall with this thing. It makes the entire game just way too easy right now, and probably needs to be looked at with how much restoration actually does for you on top of high rezo. I definitely don't think this build is going anywhere anytime soon, so if you want to go ahead and make this build for yourself, I definitely would. I hope that this build gets you started on Sunbreaker 3.0. I hope it gives you some inspiration what to build into here on Sunbreaker 3.0. And I will see everyone in the next one on Sunday. And I hope that if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like on this video and subscribing to the channel. See you all in the next one. Thank you all, and goodbye.